Let's begin with the poem 2.3. There is another sky. Sky. It means that Dushra Akash. This poem is written by Emily Dickinson. The introduction of the poem. This is a patriarchal sonnet by Emily Dickinson, an American poet, 1830-1886. Most of the poems she wrote are short and a simple language. She wrote on philosophical ideas. Abstract ideas and material things are used to explain each other in her words. There is Another Sky is a poem about the being, a journey of up and downs, success and failures, joy and sorrows. Our loved one often give us hope and encourage in the time of sorrow and despair. The poet addressed the poem to her brother, reassuring him and asking him to return home. So, this is the poem about to address his brother. He came back to returning home. So, this is about the poem. So, there are some questions, and that questions we have discussed here. Life is the amalgam of happy and sad moments. Think of such moments in your life, pair with your classmate and share the both the aspect of the life. जीवन हे आनंद आणि दुःख यांचे मिश्रण असते. तुमच्या जीवनात अशा क्षणांचे विचार करा. तुमच्या वर्गमित्राच्या जोडीत करून जीवनाची या दोन्ही बाजू एकमेकास सांगा. हॅपी मोमेंट अँड सॅड मोमेंट. Winning the first prize in a competition, losing your mobile, bicycle or wallet. Being selected in happy moment, selected for the school basketball team, getting a lower grade for not submitting the physical project by the deadline. Your classmates' team's project being chosen for displayed in National School Science Fair. A school friend debated from exam for cheating. Getting a scholarship for high studies and your sibling failing ill during the important exam. That is the some happy and sad moments are here. Discuss with your partner and find the proverb, idioms and phrase of similar meanings to the one given and fill them the star given below. Every cloud has a silver line. मीन्स पुढील वाक्यात दिलेल्या वाक्यांच्या समानार्थी दिलेल्या म्हणी वाक्यप्रचार किंवा शब्द समूह लिहा आणि पुढे तारका आकृतीत भरा. सेकंड, देयर इज अ लाईट ॲट द एंड ऑफ द टनेल. देयर इज अ डार्केस्ट हावर इज बिफोर डाऊन. नो पेन नो गेन. गॉड हेल्प दोज हू हेल्प देमसेल्व्स. When we look at the sky, we find the several objects. They stand for something or others. Complete the following tables and finding the significance of the given object. One example is given to you. Celestial bodies and associations. So दिलेल्या तुम्ही आकाशात पाहता तेव्हा तुम्हाला अनेक वस्तू दिसतात. त्या वस्तू नकाशात कशाचे प्रतीक असतात हे दिलेल्या वस्तू लक्षात घेऊन तक्ता पूर्ण करा आणि तुमच्याकरिता एक उदाहरण दिले. द सन, पॉवर, हीट, एनर्जी अँड कमिटमेंट. मून, ब्युटी, कूलनेस, कामनेस, अप्स अँड डाऊन्स. रेनबो, कलरफुल, फ्रेशनेस, चेअरफुलनेस. स्टार, होप, एमिड डार्कनेस, डायरेक्शन्स, फ्रेंडशिप. द मिल्की वे, infinity and humanity. So that is the way you have to find out the relation between that celestial bodies with their associations. Color mentioned in hexagon given below are associated with something or the others. Discuss with your partner and filling the blanks. इथे दिलेल्या षटकोनी आकृतीत नमूद केलेल्या रंगाच्या कोणत्या ना कोणत्या गोष्टीशी संबंधित आहेत. तुमच्या सहकारी चर्चा करून पुढील मोकळ्या जागा भरा. कलर्स. So we have started from blue. Water, skies and coolness. White, peace. Race, black, darkness. Evil, race, hopelessness, wickedness. Purple, the other is red, life, love, anger, danger. Yellow, sunshine, cowardice. Pink, delicacy and healthiness. So that is the colors, and that colors has to be related with something. कलर्स सुद्धा कोणत्या ना कोणत्या गोष्टी आपल्याला त्यांचे रिलेशन इथं दाखवत असतात. Let us begin with the Emily Dickinson's and their introduction of the writers and poem also here. Emily Dickinson's 1830 1886. She is an American poet of 19th century. She is the American poet, and in 19th century she lived in lonely life. Her life became lonely. Most of her poems are motivational and philosophical. There are many poems she had written, and that are some motivational and philosophical. They are unique to her era, are characterized by simple and short lines. She had to be written that poems unique in that particular period, and that became simple and short lines. She often used the slant rhymes and unconventional capitalizations and punctuations. And her poems are plasma and hymns in the life of in all its shades. So she became in 19 ती अमेरिकन पोएट होती. तर तिचं जीवन पूर्ण एकाकीपणा, लोनली, आणि ती जनरली मोटिवेशनल, प्रेरणादायी आणि तत्त्वज्ञान यांच्या त्या पोएम्स तिचे आधारित असायचे. त्या पोएमचं वैशिष्ट्य असायचं अत्यंत सिंपल लँग्वेज आणि लाईन्ससुद्धा छोटे छोटे वापरायची. अँड ती नेहमी स्लांट राईम्स अँड अनकन्व्हेन्शनल कॅपिटलायझेशन अँड पंक्च्युएशन्स दॅट मे बी the particular used in these poems. Her poems and plasm and Hammond in the life of its shades. There is another sky in the inspirational poem with a message never said I. It is an Petrarchan sonnet with octave and sextet. So there is another sky. That became the inspirational poems. The message never says die. And it is the Petrarchan sonnet octave and sextet. Octave means has the 8 lines, sextet means 6 lines. The first part that may be related to an octave, and second part of this poem is sextet, 8 and 6 lines, and that is the called Petrarchan or Italian sonnet. The poet is communication with her brother through a letter. She encouraging her brother not to get depressed under any circumstances and plead with him return home. So in this poem, poet has to communicate to her brother through the letter. She encouraging the brother not get depressed any under circumstances and pleaded with the return home. तर कवयित्री या लेटरच्या माध्यमातून संपर्क साधण्याचा प्रयत्न करतात आणि त्या लेटरमध्ये लिहितात कोणत्याही परिस्थितीमध्ये तू डिप्रेशनमध्ये जाऊ नको आणि काही प्रॉब्लेम असेल तर घरी निघून ये. लाईफ इज फुल ऑफ challenges. One can tackle and challenges with positive attitude. The poem adds an optimism notes. The bright garden stand for a choice that life offers to all. So life is full of challenges, and that can tackle challenges and positive attitude. And bright garden stand choice the life offers to all you. तर जीवन हे पूर्णपणे आपलं चॅलेंजफुल असतं आणि अशा ॲटिट्यूडमध्ये आपल्याला पॉझिटिव्ह गोष्टींवरती भर देणं गरजेचं असतं, आशावादी असणं गरजेचं असतं आणि आपल्याकडे नवीन अजून गोष्टी करण्यासारख्या भरपूर असतात, त्याच्याकडे सुद्धा आपण कॉन्सन्ट्रेट करणं गरजेचं आहे. सो इन दिस पोएम, सो हाऊ द पोएटिस्ट communicate her brother and how encourage her brothers in up and downs in the lives we have to be seen through this poem. So I'll read this poem. There is another sky. There is another sky even serene and fair, and there is another sunshine, though it be a darkness there. Never mind fair forest, Austin, never mind silent field. Here is a little forest, whose leaf is even green. Here is a brighter garden, where not a frost has been. It is unfading flowers. I hear the bright bees hum. Freight is my brothers into my garden come. Emily Dickinson. So through this poem, we have to learn something about giving the message to the brother in any situations that we have to be learned here. So another sky means दूसरे आकाश. So we have started here. There is another sky, even the serene and fair, and there is another sunshine, though it be a darkness there. Never mind fair the forest, Austin's, never mind silent field. There is the little forest whose leaf is even green. So there is another sky by Emily Dickinson is a Petrarchan sonnet, consists of octaves and sextet. There is a directed to her brother Austin. She comfortably saying that through he seemed to undergoing a dark period and there is hope yet. She differentiates between the two places. There where he has gone, here is a garden. In the first part of this poem, octave, there is even it is the fed, gloomy and silent, the forest there. She reassured him that here is an evergreen forest. It means Marathi. There is another sky. ही पोएम सॉनेट सुनीत या 14 चरणांच्या काव्य प्रकारात मोडते. पहिले कडवे 8 ओळींचे आणि शेवटचे कडवे 6 ओळींचे असते. या कवितेतून कवयित्री इमिली डिकिन्सन आपल्या भावाला दिल्याचा देव पाहते. जीवनात किती अंधारमय काळ आला तरी आशेचा किरण नक्की गवसेल. तिथं आणि इथे दोन विरुद्ध शब्दांच्या कवयित्री आपल्या भावाला ऑस्टिन जग निराशवादी आयुष्य आणि तिचे जग आशावादी आयुष्य याच्यातील फरकाचे वर्णन करते. इथल्या कडव्यात कवयित्री आश्वासक भाव शब्दात सांगते की सध्या जरी तिथे तुझे जीवनरूप अरण्य वैराग्य उदास मूक झाले असले तरी इथलं जीवनरूप वन अजूनही हिरवीगार सदाहरित आहे. तुझ्या आकाशात आज अंधकार भरून आला असेल तरी इथल्या प्रकाशात अप्रसन्न आकाशात तुझ्यासाठी स्वच्छ सूर्यप्रकाश पसरला आहे. So it means in that particular stanza, so whatever the problems you have, you can be neglected that, and you have to be in journey of the life. Ups and downs come, success and failure, joy and sorrows in the part of the life that we have to be face, and hope, encouragement in the time of sorrow and despair you have to be looked in positively way. So this is the thing mentioned in that particular stanza of this poem. Second stanza. Here is a bright garden where not frost has been. In its unfading flowers I hear the bright bees hum. Pretty my brothers into my gardens come. Emily Dickinson. So before started there are some words. Serene means peaceful, calm. Austin, Emily Dickinson brother. So here frost. When temperature is below 0 degrees Celsius, thin layer ice form on the ground or the surface, unfolding, bright and colorful. Verity, nickname of her brother Austin's. So now about that stanza. Here is a bright garden where not frost has been. So there is in my particular places the garden is full of joy. There is no killing by frost. So everything is good here. I live in successful life, and it is unfading flowers. I hear the bright bees hum. Verity, my brothers, into my gardens comes. The second part, sextics, describe the happiness of garden, not fading, the gardeners not killed by frost. The flowers are bright, and bees hum. House over them, she plead with her brother to return to home this bright garden, her garden. सो इट मीन्स दुसऱ्या कडव्यामध्ये कवयित्री म्हणते इथल्या जीवनरूपी बगीचेच्या आनंदाने उजळून निघाले आहे आणि हिमवर्षाने इथल्या हिरवाळीला गोठून टाकलेले नाही. इथं टवटवीत फुलांवर मधमाशा गुणगुणीत रुंजीत घालत म्हणजेच आहेत. म्हणून कवयित्री इथल्या तिच्या जीवनरूपी आनंदी बागेमध्ये तिच्या प्रिय भावाला बोलवत आहे, येण्यासाठी आवर्जित करीत आहे. मीन्स so each and everything in this particular in my life that is good, and there were no any problems in my life have. So you have to be live out all these things whatever you have started there, so you can come and successful in your life. And she requested to her brother return home as a bright garden and bright her days. So that is the poems is written about Emily Dickinson. So she encouraged to her brothers with that particular poems we have seen here. So there is the one word here, the poem title, there is another sky means the sky means the kind atmosphere condition different from the other place. That is what the mean particular about the another sky. So here there are two opposite things are mentioned here, and that's are the poet describe about garden there and whenever the her brothers to be a darkness. Garden may be understood here situation circumstances in her in so darkness means despair and lonely, hopeless situation is there in brothers' places. That garden also called faded forest and silent field. The poet speak of the places and another shine, serene, fair, evergreen, bright garden, unfading flowers. The place where can be heard bright bees hum. In all other places, colorful and lively, where one can be feel cheerful, hopeful. She pleaded her brother, come to her garden here, probably come back home. So that is some kind of the things, opposite things we have to be seen here, and that's why there is another sky. So there are some examples of hyperbole, alliteration, and inversions we have to be seen here. So hyperbole, there is another sky. This is an example of hyperbole. There is cannot be another sky, but the poet means convey that the better place to be that other place. To convey the makes different the poet exaggerated by the using the another sky. No place can be ever always be serene. No place here. Serene the green and no flowers can be always remain unfaded. The referring heaven is poet hyperbole marks a different here and there. So this is an example. Alliteration, faded forest. So here faded forest. FF is repeated here, and that is an example of alliteration. And another example, if there is in poem we have seen here, bright B is repeated here. Inversion is a literary technique which is the normally ordered of the reverse in order to achieve the particular effect, and emphasizing here not a frost has been. Not a frost has been means the where the frost has been, where a frost has been, that is the has not been, that is the proper sequence of that. Where a frost has not been, not is there and been, that is the proper sequence. Into my gardens come, into my gardens come means come into my garden, that is the sequence here, that is the inversion proper sequence of the poem. I'll just so writing here about the appreciation of the poem in short. About the poem and poet title. The poet There Is Another Sky by Emily Dickinson. One of the conceit of her brother indicate her way the elsewhere and may go into the dark time. There is a speak better place hope the cheer which suggested should come back, and the word inspired hope and encouraged the return. Theme. The theme of the poem compares by the places, and one gloomy, dim, colorful and lonely brothers may be a place like it, and she described the serene and evergreen little forest under the another sky with the fresh flowers and humming bees, and it is untouched by the frost, and she tells him to come back, come here. Poetic style, language and poetic device used in the poem. The poem is patriarchal sonnet octave describe the cold faded forest, and the success is the warming welcome place and little gardens. This kind of the sonnets have been rhyme scheme A B B A B B A C D E C D E or C D C D C D. So here maybe variations also. In this poem, the rhymes appear the clearly and several instance and the slanted in another case. In Dickens upon the slanted rhymes, it means that something worse and line ended, not a rhyme exactly but not approximately. Special features in this poem. When the poet referred to another sky, the another sunshine, readers could interpret the another world. The wonders if the poet described heaven where it's always serene and green and forest has not been touched, the flowers which never fade. The ideas only hinted, and we cannot be sure. Message values of poem in this poem. The poem could be message hope it is, and poem entitled Poet Brother Back Home. It is a message to her brothers who is always and would encourage him not to be given up in case he was in despair. There shows the poet was concerned about the well-being of her siblings. Your opinion about the poem. The poem is short and not difficult to understand, but there is some layers meaning immediately obvious meaning and figurative interpretation it look more deeply. This is an appreciation of the poem, and that may be asked in your question papers on that's kind of you will be studies this poem again and complete the brainstorming homework and send me in my personal number. Thank you.